Hello, STEM students, and welcome back to part 2 of electric charges and Coulomb's law for this week. For part 1, you've already discussed electric charges and the concepts that come with it. This time, we're going to discuss naman processes of charging and then the difference between conductors and insulators. Here are the three basic processes of charging, which are charging by friction, or sa ibang libro, it's called charging by rubbing. And then we have charging by induction. And lastly, we have charging by conduction or charging by contact. Let's start with charging by friction. This type of charging occurs when two different materials rub against each other, causing a transfer of electrons. Remember, ayan, ito yung unang condition for friction. Unang-una, these objects must be different materials. Okay? And usually these materials are neutral. Okay? So, neutral sila pareho most of the time. Pero pwede namang yung isa ay hindi neutral tapos yung isa ay neutral. Okay? Basta the purpose is to charge one or both of the objects. And then another condition for this is that you have to rub them against each other. So there should be physical contact between the two objects that you are trying to charge, no? And the charging happens because electrons were transferred. And again, recall natin the GIF that tells us that charging happens because electrons are moving. So let me present to you the simulation from petcolorado.edu to show us the charging by friction. Okay? So stop share ko muna itong part na ito. And then I will share the anong tawag dito? The simulation. Ayan. So on your screen, you will see the jacket or sweater, which is made of wool. So this one is the wool sweater and the balloon. These are the two objects, and they are initially uncharged. Let's show the charges. Again, as I have said before or in part 1, objects have charges or contain charged particles, but they could be neutral or uncharged. Kailan sila nagiging uncharged? If the number of protons are equal to the number of electrons. And as you can see, dito depicted in the simulation, lahat ng electrons may kapartner na neutrons. Kasi ganun naman, di ba? Kung equal ang protons at electrons mo, it means there is 1-to-1 ratio, no? So, ayan, sama sila together. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is, syempre, sabi, charging by friction requires rubbing the two materials. So, irarab natin sila sa isa't isa. And again, dapat magkaiba sila. No? So, meron tayong gawa sa wool at meron tayong gawa sa rubber. No? So, what I'm going to do, irarab ko si balloon kay jacket. Ayan. Notice na nawala yung ibang mga electrons nung wool natin. Okay? Kasi nga, when we are charging something, it means that the electrons are moving. So, kinuha ni balloon yung ibang electrons ni wool jacket. Kaya nawalan na ng partner yung ibang mga protons ng ating wool jacket or sweater. And then, if I let go of this balloon, notice that the balloon, kanina hindi naman lumalapit yung balloon kay jacket, di ba? Ngayon, lumapit na siya, na-attract siya. Bakit? I'm going to press or click this show charge differences. Ayan. This will show us yung net charge nila individually. Okay? So, si jacket, dahil nawalan siya ng electrons, siya ngayon ay positively charged niya. No? May sobra siya or meron siyang excess na protons. Ayan, no? Obvious na obvious, yun yung charge differences. Tapos, yung balloon naman natin, dahil siya yung kumuha ng electrons, siya naman yung may excess electrons Ngayon, and by principle of conservation of charges, the number of electrons lost by the wool sweater will be equal to the number of electrons gained by the balloon. So kung ilan tong positive na to ay nadagdagan kasi nirab ko ulit, no? Kung ilan yung protons na yan, equal yan dun sa electrons na nakuha ni balloon. Okay? Ayan. So that's what happens when objects are charged through friction. So initially they are uncharged, and then when we rub them together, electrons transfer, resulting to a positively charged wool jacket and a negatively charged balloon. I'm going to stop share this again. Ayan. And then let's go back to the presentation. No? Where is that thing? Ayan. Okay? Now, paano natin malalaman kung sino yung maglulus at saka mag-gain ng electrons when we charge objects by rubbing? Later, we will see, no? Ayan. So first, let's have some examples of charging by friction. And usually, this is experienced through static electricity. Yung parang nag-ground ka, na-experience nyo ba yun sa mall? Diba? Tapos sobrang lamig, and then tumatayo yung balahibo ng kasama mo, tapos parang nung nagkabanggaan kayo, nakuryente kayo, no? Static electricity ang tawag doon. So other examples for that are clothes in a dryer. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I have personally experienced this, no? Because of the friction between the washing machine and the clothes kapag dinadryer mo yung clothes mo, di ba kasi ikot-ikot kasi yun eh, o kaya pinipress niya. Kapag sa laundry, iniikot yun. Pag sa normal na dryer, iniikot pa rin naman siya. O, iniikot pa rin siya, no? Pero mas tuyo kasi kapag sa laundry or high-tech yung ano nyo, no? Yung washing machine nyo. And usually, kapag kukunin mo na yung damit, para ka rin nakukuryente o para ka natutusok or something like that. And that's static electricity caused by charging by friction. And then lastly is the rubbing a balloon on your hair. I'm not sure if you've also watched the video about this in YouTube or you've done this when you were younger. Pag nirub mo yung balloon sa hair mo, um, because nga of the rubbing action, some electrons were transferred, and that caused your hair to be attracted to the balloon after the rubbing process. Katulad ng nangyari kanina sa sweater. Pwede rin naman that you rub the balloon on your hair, tapos meron kang small pieces of paper. When you remove the balloon away from your hair, kasi tapos ka nang i-rub yun, it became partially charged or temporarily charged, tapos ma-attract sa kanya yung small pieces of paper na inilapit mo sa kanya. Okay? Next. Ayan. So how do we know which one will lose or gain electron when we rub objects together to charge them by friction? It is based on this series called the triboelectric series, which is a series of objects that tells us when you rub them together, which one will be more positive, which one will be negative. So, ibig sabihin, kapag naging positive siya, sila yung mag-lose ng electron. Tapos kapag naging negative naman sila after the charging process, it means that they are the one that gained electron, no? So para mas malinaw, let's have examples of this. Ayan. So if we rub styrofoam and rubber, this one will be the result. The styro will become positively charged while the rubber becomes negatively charged. Bakit ganon? Tingnan natin yung positioning nila sa triboelectric series. We have the, styrofoam, tapos we have the rubber. Okay? In this series, kung sino yung nasa taas, pag tinignan mo sila dito sa list, siya yung magiging positively charged. Tapos kung sino yung nasa ilalim, siya yung magiging negatively charged. Therefore, the styrofoam will lose electrons while the rubber will gain electrons. Another example, rubbing wool and glass. So ito yung wool, Ito yung glass. Nasa taas yung glass, nasa baba yung wall. Therefore, the wall will become negatively charged while the glass will become positively charged. Or in other words, the wall will gain electrons while the glass will lose electrons. Next is charging by induction, which uses a similar mechanism to polarization. Ano ibig sabihin ng polarization? Polarization happens when a charge, either positive or negative, or a charged object is brought near a neutral object. The electrons and protons are pushed in opposite directions, no? The two edges of the object acquire opposite charges and the object is polarized. The near side is attracted and the far side is repelled. So ano yung una? May isang charge daw dapat tapos may isang neutral. So let's say yung charge natin, charge object, ito siya. Tapos meron siyang dalawang excess na electrons, protons, let's say. So positively charged siya. Tapos itatapat mo siya sa isang sa isang neutral na object. Ayan. So pag neutral na object, walang excess something. However, since positively charged yung itinabi mo sa kanya, hindi mo sila pagdidikitin ha, pagtatabihin mo lang sila. These excess protons will attract some or two of the electrons, let's say, of the other or the neutral object. Sabi nga dito, the electrons and protons are pushed in opposite directions, meaning parang maghihiwalay sila sa isa't isa, no? So here, itong objects na to, syempre hindi natin alam kung ilang protons at electrons ang meron siya. Pero alam natin that since this charged object has two excess protons, i-attract niya yung dalawang electrons nitong object na ito, okay? Kasi 'di ba, opposite attract, same repel. And anong mangyayari dun sa mga kapartner nitong electron na to? Mapupush sila dun sa other side. Remember, when an object is neutral, lahat ng electrons nila may kapartner na protons. Kapag naglapit ka sa isang neutral object ng charged object, ang mangyayari kapag positive yung object na inilapit mo, ma-attract niya yung negative. Tapos, i-repel niya dun sa other side yung positive. Paano naman kapag yung itinabi mo sa neutral object, again ha, ito yung charged, ito yung neutral. Ayan. Paano naman kung negatively charged yung itinapat mo? Okay? Instead of electrons, ang kanya namang i-attract ay yung dalawang protons nitong neutral object. Tapos ipupush naman niya yung dalawang negative doon sa other side. So ito yung polarization. One side of the object becomes negatively charged and then the other becomes positively charged due to the effect of a charged object. So neutral siya nung una, tapos yung dalawang edges niya nagkaroon ng magkaibang charge dahil sa epekto ng isang outside source na charged. Okay? However, charging by induction is not only about polarization. It is also about grounding. Ayan. So ano yung grounding? Ito yung process wherein the excess electrons are absorbed by a reservoir o kaya naman an object absorbs some of the electrons from a reservoir. Okay? Examples of ground are the earth, or any material that have so much amount of charges compared to the object that we are trying to charge. So kung meron lang 10 electrons at 10 protons yung object natin, yung reservoir thousands ang meron siya na electrons and protons. Aside from the earth, human bodies can also be a ground, no? Pero syempre, hindi ibig sabihin na pag nilagay mo yung kamay mo dun sa saksakan ninyo, ay ma-absorb mo lang ang electrons at hindi ka mategi bells, no? Syempre, yung ground, or yung epekto mo as a ground absorbing electrons, limited lang yon. Kukonting electrons lang ang pwede mong i-absorb. Kaya, don't try that at home. Don't serve as a ground. Okay? Kaya rin sa tinawag ni ground kasi ang pinakamalaking reservoir nga ng excess charges ay ang earth or yung ground mismo. In buildings, grounding is very important, lalo na pag mag-electrical engineer ka, no? Isa sa mga purpose mo sa buhay kung mag-electrical engineer ka is gumawa ng uh, wire na magli-lead sa excess electrons or excess current papunta sa ground para hindi masira yung circuit within the building or within the home, no? Kasi minsan, syempre, hindi naman talaga maiiwasan na may excess na charges na madideliver sa building ninyo. And the purpose of the grounding is instead na panatilihin niya dun sa mga gadgets or sa mga appliances within the home or building, yung excess na yon, dadalhin niya yon papunta sa earth or sa ground kung saan hindi ramdam ang epekto niya kahit pumunta siya doon. Ayan. Now let's have again another simulation to show us charging by induction. So again, I'm gonna stop sharing this presentation so that I could show you the simulation. Share is screen. Ayan. So here we have two objects which are neutral. O baka nagtataka ka, ma'am, sabi mo neutral, bakit negative yung mga charges na nandyan sa kanya? Kasi yung electrons, ito sa simulation na to, di ba kanina sa simulation side by side yung positive saka negative. Dito naman, nakapatong yung negative sa positive, no? Kaya hindi niya nakikita na sa ilalim yung mga kapartner nitong mga electrons na to, which means that there are equal number of protons and electrons. So in induction involving two objects, pagdidikitin natin sila, ayun. Okay, tapos syempre sa induction, merong isa or merong outside source na charged object. And this time, it's going to be a balloon again. O, di ba? Suki-suki ang balloon. And this balloon is negatively charged. Ayan. So, itatapat lang. Hindi naman yan nakadikit. Ayaw lang niyang lumabas. Ayun ko lang Erong ko, iuurong ko. Ayan. Okay. So the outside source, itatry niyang i-charge ang isa sa mga ito by not touching. So nakita mo naman, hindi niya tina-touch. So para siyang kabaliktaran ni friction. Dapat or hindi kailangan ng physical contact between the charged object and then the neutral object para ma-charge yung neutral object. Notice, ayan, polarization is already happening since the balloon is negatively charged. It attracts, although hindi kasi nagmo-move ang protons, they are considered to be attracted by the negative charge of the balloon, no? Tapos sa other side, yung mga electrons, pumunta na sila dito. Ayan. So, ganun din dito, no? Yung electrons na napunta dito sa other side, in-attract naman nila yung mga protons dito. Hindi lang pinapakita ng simulation, no? Hindi siya ganun ka-accurate. But this is the best that we could do, no? And then, ulitin ko ha, negative to. So, i-attract niya yung mga positive dito. And then, since attract niya yung positive dito, ipupush naman niya yung negative. Ito yon, mga negative. Tapos yung negative dito sa dulo ng isang bar na ito, attract naman niya yung mga positive nitong negative 8. Tapos, sorry, nag-fluctuate ha. Tapos, yung electrons nito, mapupush dun sa other side, no? Pag inalis natin itong bar dito, ayan. Okay. his second bar is already from being neutral, it became negative. Okay, bakit? Kasi in contact siya dito sa unang bar, instead of just polarizing, lumipat na yung excess electrons nito na itinulak ng balloon. Ulit, tinulak ni balloon yung electrons nito ni unang bar, ni positive 8, tapos dahil in contact siya dito sa negative 8, tumalon yung mga electrons niya. 8 yun, no? Ayan. Napunta siya dito sa negative 8. So ngayon, pareho ng charged yung ating objects, no? Kahit hindi sila tinouch nitong ating balloon. Ngayon, paano nangyayari yung grounding? Again, yung grounding, ang gagawin niya, either i-absorb niya yung excess electrons para maging neutral ulit yung object, o kaya naman, ang gagawin niya ay uh, kukuhaan siya ng ng electrons para magkaroon ulit ng partners yung excess protons. Anong ibig ko sabihin? Doon muna tayo sa kukuha siya ng electrons. Okay? Ito yung ground, pipindutin ko siya. Ayan, in the form of a rod. Pag kinabit ko siya dito sa negative 8, dahil excess electrons to, negative 8, ibig sabihin may sobra siyang 8 electron. Pag kinabit ko siya dito, para maging neutral siya, notice, ayan, kinukuha ng ground yung electrons. Okay? So, 0 na ulit siya, neutral na ulit siya. Tapos ito naman yung positive 8 naman natin dahil may excess siyang 8 proton, ang gagawin niya, kukuha siya ng makakapartner niyang electron mula sa ground. Tingnan natin ha. Dito kanina yung electrons yung nag-move pababa. Dito naman, tingnan natin kung anong mangyayari. Okay, so notice, umaakyat naman yung electrons. Hanggang sa lahat ng excess protons ay nakakuha na ulit ng kapartner at naging neutral na ulit siya. Okay? Ayan. So hopefully malinaw yung purpose ng grounding. Either kinukuhaan siya ng electrons or kumukuha siya ng electrons. Okay? So balik tayo dun sa ating presentation lalo. Ayan. So, dito may iba pang examples of charging by induction wherein we have two-sphere system or two-object system. So, hindi siya limited sa pagiging sphere. Pwede siyang iba't ibang shape ng object. Ang example lang natin dito is sphere using a negatively charged object. So, maya naman, two-sphere system using positively charged object. Tapos yung pangatlong example natin, isang sphere lang, tapos gagamitan natin ng ground. Again, ang purpose natin is to charge both of them, no? So una, meron kang sphere A and B and they are neutral. Okay? And then, magtatapat ka kay A or magtatabi ka kay A ng negatively charged object. This negatively charged object, although isa lang yung negative niya dyan, ay hindi lang pinakita, no? Okay. So, ma-attract niya ngayon tong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 protons. Popolarize niya. Okay, ito muna pala dito. Dito muna tayo sa diagram 2. Popolarize niya, yun yung una niyang gagawin. Popolarize niya si A at saka si B. Ano ibig sabihin ng polarize? Uurong yung charges sa magkabilang edge ng object natin. Wala namang edge ang no? Ang sphere, so sabihin na natin dalawang side, either side, no? Left and right. Ayan, so in-attract na ng mga positive, yung mga positive ni A ng ating negative object. Ayan, and then, itong negative object naman na to, pinush niya yung electrons dito sa other side. Okay, ayan, yung mga red na yan. Ganon din yung ginawa niya kay B. Okay? Pinush niya sa other side yung mga negative. Since may partial negative dito sa side na to, ma-attract niya ngayon yung mga positive. Ayan. So, ang ginawa kasi nitong ating charge object, tinatry niyang paghiwalayin yung mga may kapartner na electron tsaka proton, no? Kasi neutral nga yan, lahat may partner. So gagawin niya, i-attract niya yung mga positive ni A para mawalan ng partner yung ibang mga electrons dito. Siyempre dahil wala na silang mga partner, dito lang sila sa gilid, kailangan nilang humanap ng partner, no? Dahil kadikit nila to si B, ang gagawin nila, lilipat sila kay B para magkaroon sila ng kapartner. Okay? Eh, na-push naman dito yung mga positive, ay na-pull. Tapos dito na-push yung mga negative. Okay, lumipat yung electrons. Ayan, nakita nyo. Medyo maliit, no? Sige, drawing ko nga dito sa gilid. So, bilog. May bilog tayo. Ayan. Ay, ulitin ko. Purahin natin. Ayusin natin ang ating buhay. Baybahin natin ang kulay, no? So, ito yung object natin. Tapos, ito yung A. A. Talagyan ko ng negative. Yan. Tapos, ibang kulay ulit ang ito magandang kulay. Ito, blue. Blue. Ito naman si B. Ayan, magkadugtong sila, no? Ito si B. Magkadikit sila. Neutral sila nung una. Now, ang ginawa ni, gamitin ko ay red, wag red. Wag blue, nagamit ko na pala. Green, green, green. So, gagawin itong negative, iisang charge ko na lang, no? Pero ilan kasi to? 5. Sige, 5 na nga. Yung 5 na proton ni A, may mga kapartner yan nung una. Tatloy na lang natin. Kasi hindi kasya sa drawing ko, no? So, may tatlong proton, si A, na na-attract nitong ating outside source, no? Yung charged object natin. So, dahil na-attract sila nitong negative, yung mga kapartner nilang electrons, hihiwalay sa kanila. Or hiniwalayan nila kasi na-attract sila dito sa outside source. So, saan mapupunta yung mga hiniwalayan nila? Dito sa other side. Ayan. Tapos, itong mga negative na to, ang gagawin naman nila, a-attract naman nila yung, or paghihiwalayin naman nila yung mga proton at electron ni B. Okay? So, ito ay series of unfortunate events. Ayan. So, ito mga negative na to, i-attract naman nila yung mga positive ni B. At dahil in-attract nila yung positive ni B, hihiwalay itong mga to dun sa mga negative na kapartner nila kanina. E di mapupunta na naman dito sa other side. Ayan. Okay? So, itong mga negative na to, hindi sila makukontento na attracted lang itong mga positive na to sa kanila. Gagawin nila, lilipat sila dito sa B. Okay? Ayan. So, mayroon ng kapartner yung kaninang nahiwalay. Okay? Ayan. So, ang next na mangyayari, pag inalis mo na ito, alisin mo yan siya, ang mangyayari si letter A, okay, tapos si B, ano ko lang din si B, nagkahiwalay na rin. Tapos, kulay green ulit. Ayan. So, mangyayari, dahil lumipat na ito mga negative ni A, wala nang babalikan. So, iniwan na sila ng outside source, no, salbahe. Playboy yan siya, si negative. Ayan. Dahil lumipat na yung mga kapartner nung na-attract nitong outside source, wala nang kapartner itong tatlo. Okay? Tapos dito naman, dahil nga lumipat yung mga negative ni A kay B, wala na ring babalikan itong nandito. Magiging excess electron na sila. So, after alisin yung outside source at paghiwalayan si A and B, from being neutral, they became positively charged si letter A, and si B naman naging negatively charge. And this is the result when there are two sphere systems and the object that caused the charging by induction is a negatively charged object. The object near the negative charge will be positively charged while the object on the other side will be negatively charged. Opposite naman yung mangyayari if ito yung scenario. If there are two sphere system and then positively charged yung object, ganun ulit yung process. Neutral sila sa diagram A, di ba? Sa diagram B, ito-drawing ko lang din ulit ng mas maayos. Ito yung ating positively charged object. Tapos, meron ulit tayong object A, and then meron tayo ulit object B. Ayan. Ba't lagi kong nagiging mas malaki si object B? Ayan. So, ganun ulit. Si positive, kanina si negative ang in-attract niya yung mga positive, di ba? So, this time naman, dahil positive yung ating outside source or yung charged object natin, i-attract naman niya ngayon yung mga negative. Okay? Tapos, mapupunta dito sa other side yung mga positive. Tatlo. Paghihiwalayin niya ulit, no? Itutulak niya yung mga positive, tapos i-attract niya yung negative. Ay, ano pala dapat? Magkadikit pala sila. Sorry. Burahin ko ulit. Ano ba yun? I'm so sorry, my dears. Kulay blue. Nakadikit pala yan. Sorry. Yan. Tapos green ulit. And then, ang gagawin nito mga positive, i-attract naman nila yung mga negative ni B. So, syempre, dahil in-attract nila itong negative na to, hihiwalay sila dun sa mga dati nilang kapartner na positive. Ayan. And then this time, since A has positive charges here, ang lilipat naman yung electrons. Kasi remember, ulitin ko, ang lumilipat ay ang electrons at hindi ang proton. So, hindi lilipat yung positive ni A kay B. Yung negative ni B, lilipat kay A. Okay? So, magkakaroon na ng kapartner itong mga to. Ayan. So, mangyayari niyan, ito na yung magiging itsura niya. Green na lang kasi ang hirap magpalit-palit, no? Kapag lumipat, ito positive na siya. Tatlo. Excuse me. Tapos ito negative. Tapos yung mga positive dito tatlo, magkakaroon na sila ng partner na tatlo. Ayan. So eventually, pag inalis mo to, ang magiging itsura na niya, dahil nakalipat na yung electrons ni B, si A, yung mga electrons ni A, wala nang babalikan na protons na kapartner, so magiging negative na sila dyan. Tapos si B naman, dahil lumipat na nga yung negative nila kay A, ang matitira na lang ay positive. So here, if we have two-sphere system, wherein the charged object is positively charged, the result is that the object near it will be negatively charged while the object far from it will become positively charged. And then lastly, we have here, isa lang yung sphere natin which is neutral. Tapos, idinikit mo siya dito sa diagram number 2. Ay, gawin ko ng red yung ano ko, no? Para mas kita. Sa diagram number 2 naman, ayan, ang nangyari, i-attract niya yung positive, tapos, i-repel niya yung negative, okay? And then, syempre, walang kasama to, wala siyang kadikit, walang lilipatan yung electrons niya, di ba? Walang lilipatan. So, instead of finding another sphere, you may use a ground. Ayan. So, notice kasi 5 electron, ay 4 na electron lang naman to, kaya itong i-absorb ng katawan natin. That's why ground here is depicted as a hand. Okay? 4 lang na electron yan, ha? So, ang gagawin niya, i-absorb ng hand, serving as the ground, yung excess electrons. Okay? So, pag inalis na tong ground, ayan, at inalis na rin to, Dahil nakuha na ni hand or ng ground yung negative charges ng ating sphere, ang mananatili na lang sa kanya ay excess protons. Okay? O paano naman kapag positively charged? Okay? Ayan. Pag positively charged, a-attract niya yung mga negative, let's say tatlo ulit, and then dito naman sa other side yung positive. Pag kinonekta mo siya sa ground, in some books, ground is depicted like this. Ayan. Pag kinonekta mo siya sa ground, ganyan na lang i-drawing ko kasi hindi ako marunong mag-drawing ng kamay, no? Ayan. Pag kinonekta mo siya sa ground, hindi lilipat yung positive sa ground, ha? Ang gagawin, katulad ng pinakita natin sa simulation kanina, may aakyat na tatlong electron. Ayan. Papartneran nila yung mga lonely protons dito. Okay? So kapag inalis mo na yung ground, inalis mo na yung charged object natin, since naka-absorb na tong sphere natin ng electrons, may partner na yung kaninang walang partners na protons, wala nang babalikan ulit yung mga negative charge natin. So magiging negatively charged na siya. And again, there is no contact between the charged object and the neutral object that we have charged after the charging by induction. Ang haba ng charging by induction, no? Nakakaloka. Ayan. For charging by conduction naman, it occurs when a neutral object is placed in contact with an already charged object. Notice na sa charging by friction, dalawang magkaibang object, usually neutral, pero pwede naman yung isa hindi neutral. Pwede yung isa neutral. Basta dapat may isang neutral na kailangang ma-charge at kailangan ng contact. Sa induction naman, pwedeng tatlong objects yung involved or dalawang objects, pero walang contact ulit, but charging still happens. One is charged, one is uncharged. Dito, katulad sa ng induction kasi one is charged and one is uncharged, pero katulad naman din siya ng friction na kailangan ng contact. Okay? If the object is negatively charged, electric repulsion will push some of the excess electrons from the charge to the neutral object. The charge is located on the surface, not the interior, because the electrons repel each other. So yung lipatan is because of the surface particles. So meron tayo dito neutral na object ulit. Ayan. Meron tayong charged na object. Ito ay 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Ayan. 4 electrons. Di masyadong accurate, no? Kati, sorry. Kati ng ilong ko, na? Ayan. So, mangyayari kapag charging by induction, ididikit mo yung charged object. Ito yung charged object. Tapos ito yung neutral kanina. Tapos lilipat yung mga electron niya kapag negatively charged. Ayan. Lilipat yung mga electron niya. And then, pag inalis mo tong charged object, magiging charged na rin yung neutral object natin. Okay? So, by contact to, parang katulad ng sa induction kanina, yung magkadikit na sphere, lumipat yung mga electrons. Paano naman kapag positively charged? So, una, may neutral tayong object. Tapos, paano kapag ang idinikit mo naman sa kanya is positively charged? Okay? So, let's say na ang charge nito ay positive 2e. So, may dalawa siyang excess na proton. Ang gagawin niya mula dito sa neutral na object, kanina di ba magbibigay, yung negative na object magbibigay ng electron. So, again, ito positive, kukuha siya ng electrons. Okay? So, dalawa lang yung excess niya. So, kailangan niya ng dalawang electron. Negative 2. Yan. So, itong neutral object natin, ay yung charged object natin, maging neutral na siya. Tapos ito, dahil kinuhaan mo siya ng dalawang electron, pagkakaroon siya ng dalawang excess na proton, so magiging positively charged siya. Okay? So again, kapag ang may neutral tapos merong charged object, kung ano man yung charge ng object na idinikit mo, yun yung magiging charge ng neutral na object. So negatively charged yung dinikit mo, magiging negatively charged yung object. Positively charged yung idinikit mo, magiging positively charged yung object. Ito yung sa positively charged naman. Ayan. So let's have the next part, which is about conductors and insulators. Materials are usually classified according to their electric conductivity using the following: conductors, insulators, semiconductors, meron pang superconductors pero hindi ko na isinama. Hanggang tatlo lang tayo. Ayan. Conductors allow a free flow of electrons, or madaling nakakagalaw sa kanila yung electrons. Examples are metals, which are like the wire inside the electric cord. Sa periodic table, yung conductors, of course, are the metal elements. Specific examples are silver, gold, copper, iron, steel, aluminum, etc. And then the insulators naman are materials that slow or stop the flow of electrons. So nagpo-flow pa rin naman sa ibang insulators yung electrons. It's just that sometimes it is very, very slow. And sometimes nai-stop talaga sila. Examples are rubber, glass, plastic, which are the rubber coating on the outside of an electrical cord. Kaya binabalutan ng plastic, yung or rubber, yung ating wirings inside the home is because it prevents the electricity from electrocuting us. Ayun pa pala, may yung non-metals, non-metal elements and wood are also examples of insulators. Pwede rin cloth, ayan. And then, lastly, the semiconductors, which are materials that have electrical conductivity values, which are actually between that of a conductor and an insulator. And the examples are the metalloids in the periodic table, such as silicon, silicon carbide, quartz, silicon pala yung example na metal. Tapos, compounds din, silicon carbide, quartz, and graphene. Okay. Ayan. So, thank you for listening to the part 2 of electric charges in Coulomb's law. See you on part 3.